Square say, More Zimbabwe, welcome to our channels in Confessions and Deep Secrets. Kana katika kutanga kukuya panino channel, please don't forget to subscribe. Kana chungwa garo ka subscribe, don't forget to comment and share this video. Nas More Zimbabwe takigirai nyaya yabuditswa ye a massive protest irikurongwa against First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa ku United Kingdom muna June uko kwa warkwenda kunopa in address More Zimbabwe. My human rights activists are based in the UK announcer my plans to stage demonstrations outside the venue chawanikwa ichi address kwa na the First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa for the African Impact and Resilience Summit More Zimbabwe. Nombira mushe zurikunzi my activists are ku UK arutaura iwo achiti Auxillia Mnangagwa is involved mu kubatira kurutwa vanhu mu Zimbabwe. Nyaya yakabuda Parliament ya Britain musi Wednesday mu debate rakaitwa mushure mekunge Lord John Oates akabuda achikurudzira ma British lawmakers kuti vanhu vachiconfronta Mai Mnangagwa over incarceration ya Blessed Mhlanga. A journalist yakasungwa mushure mekunge aita interview na va Blessed Geza. Nyaya yakanetsa ku UK vachitaura ivo vachiti mu Zimbabwe hamusina freedom ye media More Zimbabwe nekuda kwechitiko ichochi. Zvinombera mushe nyaya yakabuditswa July 24 vachitaura vachiti Zimbabwe's First Lady Auxillia Mnangagwa is set to face a storm of protests and tough questions when she visits the United Kingdom in June amid growing concerns over human rights abuses and continued detention of journalist Blessed Mhlanga. Human rights activists based in the UK have announced plans to stage demonstrations outside the venue of the First Ladies of African Impact and Resilience Summit, where Auxillia is scheduled to deliver an address. The activists accuse her of representing a regime that routinely suppresses media freedom and violates democratic norms. The spotlight on her visit intensified on Wednesday during a debate in the House of Lords. Lord John Oates urged British lawmakers to confront the Zimbabwean First Lady over the incarceration of Mhlanga, who has now been detained for nearly 2 months without bail. Mhlanga's only crime was having the temerity to conduct an interview with former veteran who opposes President Mnangagwa's desire to extend his term in office and exposes the criminal corruption of the regime and the president's family, Lord Oates said. He described Zimbabwe as a country where media freedom has been under siege for decades, citing the intimidation, detention, and even murder of journalists, as well as attacks on printing press. I note that President's wife is due to speak at the summit in London in June. I hope that members of our parliament who are choosing to take part will challenge Zimbabwe's First Lady on the continued detention of Blessed Mhlanga and the overall brutality of regime she represents, Lord Oates added. The debate, initiated by Baroness Moberg, focused on global efforts to protect journalists through the UK-backed Media Freedom Coalition. Both lords warned that the United Kingdom should not consider normalizing relations with Zimbabwe while the ZANU-PF government continues to flout human rights obligations. Zimbabwe remains suspended from Commonwealth, with several member states opposing its readmission, citing persistent abuses against journalists, political opponents, and civil society. Auxillia's visit to London, intended to spotlight her charity work, is now shaping up to be overshadowed by protests and a deepening diplomatic embarrassment for Harare. Zimbabwe rights groups in the diaspora are mobilizing to ensure their voices are heard, with plans for placards and rallies calling for Mhlanga's immediate release and their return to democratic values in Zimbabwe. As Auxillia prepares to travel to the UK, the trip is set to test not just the international standing, but also Zimbabwe's increasingly strained relations with the West. Ndomabuditswa wakati kwa nyaya iyi muri Zimbabwe ne the July 24 tisingazive kuti munoona sei tiudzewo zvamunofunga mu comment section. Mune imwe nyaya zvakare ma UZ lecturers abuda achitarisana a nationwide shutdown muri Zimbabwe mushure mekunge vari kuchema nenyaya yemasalaries avo muri Zimbabwe vari kupiwa vari kuchema vachiti they want masalaries avaipiwa nguva yaOctober 2018 apo a junior lecturer aiena mari inokwana 2.2 monthly but now that figure yadzika kuta $230 mare Zimbabwe vabuda vachipa warning vachavaya vachiti kana mari dzavo dzikasawedzerwa this shutdown iri kuwanikwa ichisvika muma 14 state universities yes within 10 days mare Zimbabwe. Nyaya yakaburitswa neDeblawa 24 vachiti the University of Zimbabwe campus was the scene of intense protest Thursday as lecturers under the banner of the Association of University Teachers warned they would escalate industrial action to all 14 state universities within 10 days if their wage demands continue to be ignored by authorities. AUT is demanding that salaries be restored to pre-October 2018 levels when a junior lecturer earned $2,250 monthly. Today, that figure has plummeted to just $230, a situation the union describes as unacceptable and degrading to the academic profession. Legal advisors for AUT and senior labor law lecturer at UZAT, Munyaradzi Gwisai, led a defiant protest outside the institution's gates and issued a stern ultimatum to Higher and Tertiary Education Minister Frederick Shaba, Finance Minister Mtuli Ngube, and Treasurer General George Gwamatanga. Dr. Shaba, the choice is yours. You and Professor Ngube and Permanent Secretary George Gwamatanga, the one we hear is looting public funds. You must sit down and give us UZAT lecturers and staff what is their due, declared Gwisai to loud cheers. If you do not, this is going to become a struggle that spreads to all 14 state universities within 10 days. Gwisai urged a complete shutdown of university services, calling on lecturers to withdraw all form of service delivery, including exam marking and board seating. We must ensure that not a single examination paper is marked from today onwards. We must ensure that not a single examination board sits from today going onwards, he thundered. Professor Obvious Vengei, AUT spokesperson, delivered a scathing rebuke of the UZAT administration, accusing it of arrogance, unresponsiveness, and reckless spending. We are being ignored by blue-ticking legends, Vengei told NewZimbabwe.com. They buy top of the range cars for themselves while paying professors $230. We've written over 40 letters since 2018. They only responded to 2. They are not engaging us. How can this be acceptable in a so-called academic institution? He called on lecturers to ignore any orders to return to class, vowing that continued administrative indifference would only deepen the standoff. Last week, Vengei and several colleagues were arrested for staging a similar protest at UZAT. They were released after a night in custody and fined $15 each. However, in a win for the union, the High Court of Zimbabwe issued an interdict barring both Zimbabwe Republic Police and UZAT authorities from interfering with the protests. Despite the previous arrests, AUT members say they will not back down and vow to continue protesting outside UZAT indefinitely until their demands are met. The demonstrations are expected to resume Friday as tensions rise across Zimbabwe's tertiary education sector, once admired across the continent, now mired in salary disputes and funding crisis. Ndomabuditsa wakati kwa nyaya iyi muri Zimbabwe neDeblawa 24 tisingazivi kuti munoona sei tudzorera muri kufunga mu comment section.